welcome back to Faded Truth. Before you do anything, hit that subscribe button. And today I have a lovely female entrepreneur on the show. I'm so excited to have her here. We got Stephanie from Nug Jewelz in the house. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I just got this puppy lit.
Right. First pull's the best. We met at Las Vegas Cannabis Awards.
We did.
Right? And that was my first cannabis event in Vegas. Pretty much, like, besides the Chamber of Cannabis. But,
wow, okay.
So that was great because I did a lot of networking there. But we basically just linked up on the map, which I like. I like to see people move like how I move on the East Coast. Like, oh, you want to do something? Great, let's lock it in now.
Let's do it.
Right, let's put it in now.
We booked a date, and, you know, we got, I think we switched it one day, but one day over.
Yeah.
I had a women girl yesterday.
We made it.
Yeah, we're here, and we're here. Yeah.
How was your expo today?
Today, we walked around Champs handing out business cards and had a blast. I was on a little scooter and toured it all around.
Like,
my little pen. Everyone's vaping.
Want to see my nugs?
Handing out stickers. Yeah, hashtag show us your nugs. Unfortunately, though, Instagram has banned my hashtag.
Really? Ugh, I hate them. They just shadow ban everything. You can't even find anything cannabis tags anymore. You got to put the full thing in.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think like now that it's getting more accepted that it would just like they'd be like, fuck it. Like, we have ass all over the fucking social media, people twerking, people fucking shooting guns, but we can't have weed, which is a plant. Mm-hmm. So that just goes into agricultural racism. Basically, so owner of Nug Jewelz, which is a cannabis jewelry brand. How do you introduce it?
There's not a whole heck of a lot of them out there. So we've got a niche for sure. I guess, cannabis jewelry.
Okay, so
it's made of hemp. It's done after the RSO process. So
can you explain the Rick Simpson oil thing? Is that RSO?
That is RSO.
Okay.
So the way that the process is made, they use alcohol, and I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert in that. That's not what I do. But I have teamed up with a farm who does make RSO tablets, and after the process, there's expelled plant material. So I take that plant material and then put it in, make something creative with it, instead of it being compost or waste.
Okay, and this can be any part of the plant?
Yeah.
Okay, because you said it's hemp, so I'm still confused with like how hemp is part of the cannabis plant.
Well, the cannabis plant, but it's the hemp side of things, so there's no THC in the plant to begin with.
Okay.
So my products don't have any THC. There's no THC harmed. None was wasted. Let's get that out of the way first. I would never, ever do that. Exactly. No, so don't smoke your nugs, at least not from Nug Jewelz. But yeah, no, we've been having fun making them for a couple years now, and yeah.
Okay, so I want to start from the beginning. You grew up in Wisconsin?
Yes.
Okay. What's like a stigma about the Midwest that people have that's completely untrue? Because I'm from Jersey. So for me, when I hear like Wisconsin, I'm like, cheese. And
there's a whole heck of a lot of cheese there.
Because it was like always the cheese thing on the map when you were little. Mm-hmm. That's what it was known for.
So when you roll in I-94 coming in from Chicago to like Racine, Kenosha, there's a cheese factory right off the side. So like anytime, you know, people from Illinois, they will say, oh, we're going up north to Wisconsin, you know, we're going to get some cheese. And it's like really just right over the border.
I'm going to Wisconsin and
Wisconsin. You know how many people today asked me from where I was from? And usually people will say, oh, are you Canadian?
Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay. So growing up there, how was that?
You know what? I went to a very religious school growing up, K through 8th grade.
Catholic or
Lutheran.
Okay.
So yeah, I was.
Were you the bad kid in school?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was any trouble, but my mom was a single mom with 3 different, kids with 3 different fathers, and we went to a private school where everybody knew everybody's business. And
damn,
my grandparents went to that school. My grandma went, you know what I mean? Like, it was like a generational thing. So right. My mom was kind of like, I guess, the bad apple of the family. So my mother was a opiate addicted, or she had an addiction, I should say. she, but it was okay because it was prescribed from a doctor. And, you know, I was 18, 19, 20 years old telling my mother that she shouldn't go to that doctor, you know. Ultimately, she passed away. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, from prescription medications. So I am a pain patient myself. I had back surgery almost going on 2 years ago. And nothing. No opiates, no prescriptions. They tried to give me Percocet. They tried to give me, you know, like afterwards. No, I don't want it. Really?
So you did the whole 2 surgeries with no pain pills?
When I was 15, I had my first surgery, and that, of course, was
that was the ATV accident?
Yeah. And then when I had my second surgery just this last 2019, which is how I started Nug Jewelz, you know.
You're so high already?
We've been smoking all day.
She's like, which way do I pass it?
I don't even know. Which way does this go? This way?
I'm good on this one. If you want to keep that.
So yeah, what were we talking back about? Circle back.
Okay, so I want to bring it back. So you had the accident at 15.
Yeah, I was like 12, and then I had a surgery.
Were you like a tomboy? Were you like
No, I was on there with my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I love
And he
ATVs, any type like dirt bikes and shit, you know. And I always think like people really can get hurt off these things.
Yeah.
So it flipped. You need surgery at that young, and so you've had chronic pain your whole life, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. And so what age did you start using THC for pain?
I would say probably 18. But at that time, I was still taking prescriptions as well. So I think about 20, 21 was kind of like where I was kind of seeing how my mom was falling into it. And it wasn't something that I wanted to, realizing that that's an issue, you know. And they've done studies that addiction, you know, can be very well genetic.
Oh, yeah.
So I just smoke weed. I don't drink any alcohol.
Okay, so you're just a stoner.
Yeah.
Any psychedelics?
I will do a little mushrooms every now and then, but
I got some chocolates in the fridge. We want to get crazy.
Then let's
some
go.
0.5. Right. Your mom had the opioid addiction, so obviously you turned that over into kind of plants over pills.
Yeah,
which
absolutely,
is like,
100%.
Yeah, so that's something I discovered when I started the podcast was the plants over pills movement, and I had a guy on here, Sober Junkie. Okay. You heard of him? He's an artist out here, but he overdosed off heroin like 8 times, lived, and he came clean with cannabis. And so I've learned that people that have really serious addictions, they can use cannabis to really become sober, which is the craziest thing you would think because it was such a drug, you know? But I feel like it's just such a healing plant.
It blows my mind that it's still classified, you know, on the same level as heroin.
When people are giving it to their kids for seizures and all this stuff, you're still classifying. Like, it makes no sense.
You know, I left Wisconsin after being there for 30-some years because of their rules on cannabis. After my mother passed away, I was just like, you know, there's nothing really here for me. I have my brothers who, unfortunately, one of them or both of them face their own addiction issues, whether it's heroin or alcohol or both, you know. So it was just like, I didn't want to be around they're grown guys. I can't force them to do anything. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and move and be closer to my dad's side of the family. To be here, you know, it's surreal sometimes.
Now we're talking about like moving states to get that treatment that you need. Yep. And that's so crazy because I've heard of families moving cross borders because their kids couldn't get the
function anymore. It was getting to the point where I just couldn't deal. And the access to quality medicine out there is almost obsolete. I mean, I was okay because I knew somebody who got it shipped in, you know, which is crazy. You think about it, you know, they go to jail for so long for helping a pain patient stay off of opiates.
Well, the government wants everyone to die early. Like, that's just facts. Like, that's why pain pills are prescribed, you know, to fuck
they dry
you
out your colon and they dry out your
liver
insides.
and so And people, when you tell them like, oh, you might be able to heal yourself with something natural or a plant, they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, what?
You're a witch doctor? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
exactly. Or
why wouldn't you want to research how you could help yourself?
Why would I do that drug? Yeah.
Do weed. Someone asked me that too. They're like,
do
you do weed?
Do you shoot up weed?
Okay, so you also were bud tending.
Yeah.
So when were you bud tending? In Arizona?
In Arizona, yeah.
Okay. And then you quit that to start creating cannabis art.
Well, I was creating it while I was working there.
Okay.
And people would ask me while I'm wearing it, and my coworkers would be wearing it, and everyone was like, dude, that's so cool. Can I touch it? And this is pre-COVID, you know. So I have like, and then, you know, your necklace hangs kind of like right, you know, right here.
Everyone's just touching
and everyone's
your
like trying to grab my boob. I'm like, wait. So that's where we came up with hashtag show us your nugs, you know, the IG thing that got deleted. Because I was like, no, I'll show it to you. Hold on. Let me pick it up.
Right.
Because people have grab it. People try to sniff it. Like, can you imagine wearing...
I just feel like I would be like, all day, like...
So it was, you know, it was a joke at first, and then I started using it as a hashtag, and it kind of caught on. And I have stickers and T-shirts. You can see on her T-shirt, she's got the.
So you make this all yourself?
We did the branding all of ourselves. It's basically little crumbs of nugs, and they get molded into what it is there.
So we got bracelets. This is the hematite one, right?
That is.
Okay. Because I know you said you're learning about crystals, right?
I am. Become a lot more spiritual since I've been like in the Southeast America, I guess.
That's great. Me too.
Southwest.
Moving to Vegas was like the most changing thing for me, because I think so differently than I did when I moved here. I mean, I think differently than I did a year ago. Like
100.
My elevation has been crazy. 2020 was really it for me. I was like, okay, I'm open. I'm gonna just see where I go.
Right.
You know, and it's just been great. It's like, I love my life.
Well, and you know, I started this in 2019, and that's when I had my surgery, right? I started making them just to make a few extra bucks because I was going to be off of work. They just stopped short-term disability. So I just started making them, cranking them out, and selling them at work, and managers would kind of get a little crappy about it, but I was meeting people in the parking lot after work, and police pulled up and asked me what I was selling in the parking lot at a dispensary after hours. And this was only medical then, you know. And so, you know, I'd show them, and, you know, we laughed. But, yeah, they thought they were going to catch somebody.
So I got this at the, tell me what's in here.
That is, the dark green is the unprocessed, so it's not bleached or dyed. It's naturally how it comes out of the RSO process. I mixed a little gold fleck in there, and then it's resin.
Wow.
And then around it, there is those agate.
And then I got this one too. What's in here? Purple. Did you dye it?
Yeah, it's dyed purple. And then I have another artist who I've tried to wire wrap. I'm not going to take credit for her work. I had to hire someone because she did the wire wrapping for me. And another artist, her name is Jen Stone. So she comes in and helps me
nice
make some rings and earrings occasionally, and different kind of styled necklaces.
I mean, I love it. I think it's awesome, the things that people are doing with cannabis, because it's like, I mean, come on, we got weed jewelry now.
Well,
like, it's amazing.
You know, I wanted to show too, like, just to say, like, this is helping change the stigma. Because it's beautiful, you know what I mean? And you make it into something beautiful, and it's not such an ugly drug, you know?
Right. That's what we're trying to do, is break the stigma.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I feel like the way that I can help is just by educating and bringing people on that are really doing something different to, like, really make you think, like, wow, I didn't know, like, you know what I mean? I like how people can always learn something, so I appreciate it. You said you're in all 50 states and 5 countries.
Yes.
Okay, how did this happen? Like, are you in random shops? Are people selling them for you too? Like, consultants?
Both. Yes.
Or, yeah.
So I have representatives, like, on the East Coast in Massachusetts. For the last couple years, he was buying them at a low rate and using them as gifts for giveaways on his social media. So people would tune in and everyone just wanted them. You know, who wouldn't want a free Nug Jewel? You know what I mean? So they're participating in his, and it helped him build up his channel, and he was just literally buying them to give them away. And so we kept track of what states that he sent them to, and along with my online sales and the smoke shops. And I'm in a grow center in Springfield, Illinois.
Shout out to Springfield.
Yeah, so if you're out in Springfield, Illinois, you can get Nug Jewelz there at KC Creations.
I just feel like these should be everywhere.
They
Because, like,
should
can't
be.
you just see them, like, hanging at the front? Like
In your
the
car.
Like,
you know,
in the CVS thing, you know, where you
Yeah.
pick everything up that's literally, like, everyone
Like-
would just pull them.
Welcome
all
to
day.
Vegas. Little metal clip on there. Yeah.
Telling you. Marketing.
Yeah.
Throw it up there.
So along with him, and then I have another guy in California where he kind of heard my story. You know, I did have back surgery then, and it was my second one. They tried to remove some scar tissue, and they nicked my nerve. I don't know what's better, before my surgery or after my surgery, as far as like pain level goes, but sometimes it feels like Satan himself is shooting electricity through my feet from the nerve damage.
Oof.
So I have little to no feeling on the right side of my body.
Okay.
So that's how I got started on really pushing this, because I couldn't butt 10 anymore.
Right. And so to keep yourself from kind of going into a dark space, you put your mind somewhere. Like, did that help?
Well, I started becoming, like I said, a little bit more spiritual, and I really believe that like energy goes where your energy is flowed. You know, you put everything into being creative, whether it's this or picking up a paintbrush or, you know, even the art of shooting a gun, you know,
Yeah.
target practice. You know, you have to do something to expel energies from your body. If you hold it in, I think that's where it gets dark. So let it out one way or another, find an outlet, and this was mine. What's crazy is I can't do my artwork unless I am in like one of the greatest moods. So I don't pour any epoxy unless I feel like in a certain place.
Okay.
And so I call it that vibe, you know?
So you have to be vibing to make it. 'Cause
Absolutely.
then
I want to
you
pass
carry
on that good energy. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
One thing about my jewelry is that I have people from all walks of life who wear it. When I was going back to that guy who was giving away my stuff when they'd win, then they got their prize in the mail, the joy. And there was so much crap and just bullshit in 2020. So to see people react in such a positive way, that was satisfying enough. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's what fueled the fire. That's what filled the soul.
That's because that's your passion and something that you're happy about. Like,
I
you
love to bring people joy, you know?
right.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Especially
you're
over
doing
something
what
I
you
made,
love.
you know?
And it's your own, like, but that's the thing, like, it's like your own shit. Like, this is my shit.
Yeah. And it
Like,
made
I
you
made all
happy.
this
And it
shit.
made you happy.
Right.
Yay,
And then
you
sold
know?
it to you and made money off of something I love doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what everyone says. Find what you love to do and then find a way to profit off of it. And then you'll never work a day in your life because it's like you're working constantly, you know? Because constantly. It's like, because you would think, like, you think about it when you work a normal job, it's like a 9 to 5, you have off weekends, whatever, right? So you know your schedule. But when you're an entrepreneur, it's literally something new every day. And you're always working because you're always trying to build your brand and forward yourself. Shout out to you. How do you feel? Do you get celebrate your accomplishments on the way, or are you always thinking about something bigger?
I just signed a lease for an art studio. So
Yes.
so right now I've been doing it all in. So my house, there's a carport that was turned into a part of the house. So that's where I was doing all my work in. I kind of overgrew that area, so to
Exactly.
be able to have the space now to make multiple items and get things ready for wholesale and have things packaged and a place to do it. Place to get away to
that's
too.
What I'm talking about.
So what's next?
So that's this weekend. So that's this weekend, honey.
No.
Okay, so wife and mom of 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what do we got? Boys, girls?
I have a 13-year-old boy and a 6-year-old little girl.
Okay, so how's having a teenager?
My son is a really good kid. The worst thing he does is try to sit all night on video games. He's a straight A student. He's in advanced math classes. So he's just an amazing kid. He's not like a dorky kid either. You know, you think of the kids that get good grades. He's got the long straight hair, and he's a good looking kid.
That was me, because I was always in like the gifted and talented programs, and then, but I wasn't like a complete nerd. But I was like,
right, you're the cool. You were the cool nerd.
Still kind of a nerd,
yeah,
but like
you're the cool, the hip nerd.
So, what do you think's the hardest part about being a mom, and then also being a mom in the cannabis industry? Do you have good support? I'm sure you find.
Well, I medicate outside, away from my children. My children are grown up knowing that it is a medicine. It's what it is. That's what they refer to it as. They don't refer to it as, oh, my mom smokes weed, my mom smokes pot, or anything like that. You know, my mom takes her medicine.
Right.
She goes outside. It helps her, you know. I also don't entirely hide it, but it's not like I do it right in front of them. I just don't want it to be something that's, if I'm hiding it, then I'm doing something wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not doing anything wrong.
So can we normalize moms having to take a smoke break? Like, just like moms have to take wine breaks. Like, okay, well, I need to go smoke. I'll be right back.
Well, they know that, like, my daughter, if there's a hemp event or like a pop-up farmer's market, like a hemp, you know, like they have little events. My daughters come with me to vend my product. She's the cutest little kid. Saying, you want a Nug Jewel?
Aww.
She was 5. You know, but there's nothing illegal about my product. It's just, yes, it represents cannabis, but again, and they're going to grow up not in the war on drugs. They're going to grow up to our generation who was a, you know, victim of the war on drugs. You know, I think that's a lot of the problem. What's wrong with, you know, people is that we have an endocannabinoid system, and so many generations were depleted of it, you know. Think of your parents' parents. You know, if they didn't smoke because it was illegal, you know.
I appreciate you sharing your story. It's crazy how you don't realize how much you have in common with people until you talk to them, you know. And so I just love learning about people and their journeys and how they got there, because like no successful people like have an easy story, you know. It's like everyone's got some shit, and that's why they're successful, because something happened that drove them to be like, I don't want to be like this, I want to be like this, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Cheers to us bad bitches. Yeah. In cannabis. Yes. Breaking stigmas, educating.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, it's Steph with Nug Jewelz. Why don't you make sure you're following Faded Truth podcast? You're going to edit that, right? Subscribe. Faded Truth podcast. Dun, dun, dun.
That's definitely going in the teaser. Well, until next time, guys. Peace.
Follow who knew I turn into something. Green light has it, ash it before you try and pass it. You bastard G, have little faith, but I'm seeing everybody trying to get a play. When the moon turn red and the rain turn blood and the rocks don't move and the river don't flood and the dirt don't move.